Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 30th of September 2023. In today's newspaper analysis, we are going to cover some important topics from the newspaper, and we have included a mapping topic also for the discussion. So let us quickly see the list of articles that we are going to cover. So these are the list of articles that we'll be covering, and along with this we have these additional articles. So in all we are going to cover 11 articles and one mapping topic. So let's talk about the first mapping topic. So this village, which is known as Khongtong, okay, so this village was in news. So we need to understand where is this village located, then we will understand why this village was in news. Okay, so this Khongtong village, okay, which is Khongtong village, it is a village in Meghalaya. Okay, it's a village in the state of Meghalaya. So it was in news recently. Okay, so that's why it is important that, like, this Khongtong, this place is in India. It's in one of the states in India, in Meghalaya. Okay, why it was in news? Because recently there was an award by the Ministry of Tourism to this village. This village has been awarded as the best tourist village in India, and this village is also known as the village of music, village of tune. Okay, Khongtong means the village of tune, and villagers from this particular village has composed a song also for the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi. Okay, so that has been the additional reason as well for which it was in news. So it has received best tourism award this year. Okay, so that's why this village was in news. So it is important for us to understand that it is part of India. It is in the state of Meghalaya. And so where is Meghalaya located? Meghalaya is one of the northeast India, right? One of the states in northeast India. So in northeast we basically consider, right, 7 states over here, and we have 8th state over here, which is Sikkim. Okay, Sikkim is the 8th state we consider. So let us quickly see a detailed map of the northeast India, and we are also going to see try to solve a question on this. Tourism award. So they have taken many initiatives related to tourism, okay, for facilitating tourism. And there is a portal of the government of India. In that portal, basically various locations in India, I mean, those locations are mentioned, their specialties are mentioned. Okay, recently that initiative has been started by the government of India. Like many people can locate their places, I mean, here on that particular portal of the government of India. Long back I have seen that portal. Even I have searched about my village where I belong to. That was also there listed. Okay, so their specialties are, let's say, entered over there. Recently it has got, let's say, best tourism award. So that's why I have thought of including that thing. So this is northeast India, map of northeast India. There are 8 states over here. One of the state is Sikkim. Sikkim we will count as the 8th state, and apart from this there are 7 states in this particular mainland northeast India. The central state is Assam, right? After Assam you can go over here Meghalaya, then Tripura, Mizoram, Manipur. Okay, 1, 2, 3, then this is 4th, Manipur, Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so Assam is in the center, then Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh, and this is the 8th state. And this particular place from here to here, this belongs to the state of West Bengal, and this is known as chicken's neck. Okay, this is known as chicken's neck. Why it is considered to be the chicken's neck? It resembles the neck of a chicken. This is one thing, and it is also a very narrow stretch. Like on the top of it we have Bhutan, and over here, let's say, we have China over here. So China, if it controls Bhutan, then it can separate the entire northeast India from India if they control this chicken's neck. So that's why also it becomes very important for India to have a proper control in the northeastern portion. Yeah, so it's a location of strategy, and along with this Arunachal Pradesh, some area of Arunachal Pradesh is disputed between India and China. The area is under India's control. However, China says that this belongs to us. They have recently released a map also related to this, like, to make claims on Arunachal Pradesh. Now we have, let's say, this is a still more detailed map of Northeast India. Here they have mentioned name of the states along with the capital of the states. Okay. For example, if I talk about Meghalaya, Shillong is the capital. Tripura, Agartala is the capital. Mizoram, Aizawl. Manipur, Imphal. Nagaland, Kohima. Arunachal Pradesh, Itanagar. And Assam, Guwahati. Earlier it was Guwahati, but now it is Dispur. Okay. And then Sikkim, Gangtok. Okay. So their capital is also mentioned. So I thought of including also this one. Okay. So that like you can have a quick reference to Northeast India. Now we are going to, let's say, solve a question related to this. For example, if we have to move from the village of Khongtong, okay, to Sriharikota. Where is Sriharikota located? Sriharikota is located in Andhra Pradesh. Okay. So if we move by land routes, if we move by roads from Khongtong, or let's say from Meghalaya to Andhra Pradesh by route, how many states do we have to travel through? Including the state of Meghalaya and Andhra Pradesh. We need to count them as well. So for that, okay, so what I have done is I have included a map so that we can do an exercise over that as well. There was a question in UPSC similar of that nature. So let's see. So we will look at the map. So if we start from Meghalaya we have to move to the state of Assam over here. So this Meghalaya is going to be one of the state. Assam will be the second state. Then we can move through West Bengal like that. So West Bengal will be the third state. Then we have to move to Odisha. It will be fourth state. Then we will be able to move to Andhra Pradesh, fifth state. All other routes will lead to more number of states. If we have to cover the least number of states, so this will be the route that we need to follow. Meghalaya, Assam, West Bengal, Odisha, and then Andhra Pradesh. 5 states, okay? So Meghalaya, this will be the starting point. Assam will be the second, West Bengal, Odisha, and Andhra Pradesh. So these are the 5 states that we have to travel through. So similarly, we need to try to do mapping of this sort, that you connect one place with another place, the places which were in news. For example, Khongtong is in news and Sriharikota is in news, okay? Satish Dhawan Space Center, like that. And so if we have to move to the state of Karnataka, here we move to 5 states. In that case, this will become the 6th state, okay? For example, the center of stroll, right? So if we have to move to Karnataka where scientists sit, so there we can come over here. This will be the 6th state. Yeah. Okay. So that's the thing. Okay. So we need to understand how do we move from one place to another place. So that will help us to solve questions in the prelims exam. Now we have this one topic. This topic is very important. It says Global Dispute Settlement, India and the Appellate Review. Okay. So we are going to understand about this. Name of the topic is Global Dispute Settlement. Global Dispute Settlement, India and Appellate Review. Okay, so this is the topic that we are going to understand. Global Dispute Settlement, India and Appellate Review. So why this article is important? This article talks about the World Trade Organization. Okay, in this article the author has talked about World Trade Organization. Why World Trade Organization is important? Because recently during G20 summit, the leaders have talked about reforming the international financial systems and international organizations. So the World Trade Organization is an international organization. This organization plays key important roles in enabling cross-border, let's say trade and commerce. So this body, let's say, functions to enable the trade between different countries. It creates a level playing field among the countries. However, this like World Trade Organization does have a system for settlement of disputes also. If in case the countries come across, let's say, dispute with one another, so it does have a dispute settlement mechanism. Okay, it does have a dispute settlement mechanism. Okay, dispute settlement mechanism, and this mechanism is known as dispute settlement understanding. Okay, it is known as, we can say it to be dispute settlement understanding. In short, it is known as DSU. So as part of dispute settlement understanding, so whenever a country has any dispute with respect to other countries, practices followed by other countries, or a dispute with the WTO, so in that case they can get their dispute registered with WTO. So WTO follows a two-tier approach. Okay, it has two-tier approach for settlement of dispute. Okay, it has two-tier approach. One of the tier is known as dispute settlement body. It does have a dispute settlement body, and second, it has appellate tribunal. Okay, appellate tribunal. Both these bodies work, let's say, in their own sphere. The dispute settlement body is the first body where a dispute goes, and this body looks into let's say the issue, and also it looks into the legality, associated with these issues that are there. And most of the disputes that arises in the WTO is settled at the dispute settlement body level itself. But however, there can be some disputes where the parties are not happy with the award, okay, of the dispute settlement body. In that case, the parties have a, let's say, route to approach the appellate tribunal. Okay, they can approach the appellate tribunal. Appellate tribunal does not look into the nitty-gritty of the case. It looks into the laws that are applied to resolve those cases. It sees whether those laws are in tune with the, let's say, WTO charter, or the WTO document. So is it in tune with the international laws or not? If proper law is not applied for settlement of the dispute, in that case they may review the case. Okay, so they may review the case and they may help in the settlement of the cases. However, what happens in the appellate tribunal? Appellate tribunal does have a system of a kind of quorum. Quorum means, like, let's say there are out of 7 members, at least 4 members must be present, like that. Okay, so that's the thing. But what has been happening, that for example, for appointment of people into the WTO system, there is a mechanism that is followed by countries which is known as consensus mechanism. Okay, so the countries must consent, right, for appointment of a person. And from last many years, since 2019, right, the United States of America has not consented for the appointment of people in the appellate tribunal. Now it is falling short of quorum, it is falling short of the number of judges, for which the appellate tribunal is not functional. Okay, so the thing is, the dispute settlement body, so dispute settlement mechanism in WTO has become paralyzed since 2019. USA is a party to it. USA has as much authority as any other country, because in WTO all the countries are considered equal to one another. Some countries are developed, some countries are under let's say developing or underdeveloped, right? So those countries that are developed, they themselves say, like, we are a developed country, recently one of the countries, South Korea, it has told, okay, so recently South Korea has told that I mean, like, you know, it has become a developed country, okay. So countries themselves can declare that they are developed or developing. Someone has said, sir, voice not audible. Okay, please recheck your system once, maybe like it may be audible. Just give me a minute, let me cross check if I'm audible or not. Then we'll restart, because there was a day when I recorded, I took the Hindu newspaper live, but voice was not audible. Completely it was not audible. It's audible now. It's functional in our end. Okay, all right. So now we will go ahead with the discussion. Thank you so much for sharing this thing. I hope it is audible now. Now, so we have understood about this World Trade Organization. But the thing is, like, World Trade Organization is not the only financial organization. I mean, like, it is not a financial organization in that matter, but like it is facilitating trade and commerce between different bodies, like different countries across the world. Apart from this, we have, let's say, the World Bank system. The World Bank system under itself has, let's say, like, you know, a body which is known as ICSID, International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. So what is this? What is International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes? So generally what happens, let's say, like, you know, on one side, let's say we have India. So since India is an economy which, let's say, encourages people to invest right from outside also, so there can be some foreigners. Foreigners means like it can be individuals or it can be corporations. So these corporations can invest their money in India, right, in businesses in India through FDI or through other routes. But many a times there is a possibility that these organizations or individuals may run into disputes with India or with any other country for that matter. For settlement of such kind of dispute which is related to investment purposes, okay, like a foreigner has invested money and on their investment, let's say government of India has taken a decision to confiscate properties. So it will lead to a kind of dispute between an individual investor and the host state, okay, or investor state. So in that case, these kind of disputes are taken up by this particular organization, which is known as International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. So this organization works impartially. It gives equal weight to the let's say like investor state and the individuals who have invested in that particular state, okay. So it looks into those cases by applying the international laws that are in place, and it gives judgment related to that, okay. So it follows certain procedures. One of the procedure is known as let's say, for example, like, you know, related to the disputes that are there between countries. So one of the thing it follows is, let's say, arbitration. So arbitration is there, so they create arbitral tribunals, okay. So arbitration is one of the method that is followed. Then conciliation is another method that is followed to resolve the disputes, right, to resolve the disputes, investment disputes. And the thing is, like, you know, this particular organization helps in settlement of those disputes. In this article, they have talked about the World Trade Organization, its dispute settlement system. It has talked about that this World Trade Organization has settled more number of cases than the International Court of Justice. So International Court of Justice, I mean, like, it looks into the criminal cases against the head of the states or criminal cases in the world. But this WTO dispute settlement system looks into the trade related disputes between different countries. And this International Court of Justice has dealt only with 190 cases since 1947. So they say that the appellate body of WTO is not functional because USA has blocked the appointment of persons in the appellate tribunal. That's the thing. So in this article, they have talked about that ISDS. So, like, you know, we have investor state dispute settlement as well. And for these kind of, for resolving these kind of disputes, so there are bilateral investment treaties also between different countries. So India may have signed bilateral investment treaty with UK, with US. So they have an understanding that like if a dispute arises, how those disputes will be settled. And in any case, there is another system which I have recently talked about. It is known as International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. So people can take recourse to this particular organization also for getting their disputes settled. And apart from this, there is another organization which is known as UNCITRAL. UNCITRAL stands for United Nations Commission on International Trade Law. Okay, so it has a working group. This working group, let's say like also functions, right, for settlement of disputes, and it is recently looking into the aspect of, let's say like reforming this this particular thing, which is known as investor state dispute settlement. Okay, so this is the thing. This UNCITRAL body, I mean like this body is in news. It's an international body. You need to learn about this body also, right? So like it is part of some United Nations organization. Okay, so United Nations organization has different bodies under it. So that's the thing. So it says like in this article they have said that since India's quest has been to establish rule-based global order, its support for appellate review will ensure more state and investor confidence in international investment law. Okay, so India is in support of, let's say like appointment of people in the appellate tribunal. Okay, if there are people who they will be able to resolve the disputes. However, the system has got paralyzed because USA has stopped like allowing people to be appointed there. Now this is a question on this topic. It says, what role does the appellate body play in the WTO dispute settlement system? Okay, so what role does the appellate body play in the WTO dispute settlement system, and why is it considered a critical component of the process? Okay, so you need to write an answer on this, because in this article they have talked about this topic. So this is important because appellate tribunal, I mean like there have been many cases between India and USA. In some cases India has won, in most of the cases USA has also won, right? So I mean this is the thing. Bilateral investment treaty. See, bilateral treaties are signed between two countries. Okay, means like there are, let's say, 194 countries in the world. Okay, bilateral investment treaties are signed by countries among themselves. On one side it can be India, on the other side it can be UK. Okay, so this is the case. Okay, India may have signed bilateral investment treaties, BITs, with many other countries, and many other countries might have signed it between them. But the thing is, like, if I talk about investment, let's say like state disputes, okay, investment state disputes, so this is a part of the international law, international financial law. Okay, it's a part of international law. Okay, means like for settlement of disputes related to investment thing, there are set international norms, laws, and for every kind of dispute that arises, the parties agree to which law may be applied or which law may not be applied. For example, like in domestic laws, like in case of domestic territory, laws are already in place. So the thing is, like, people do not say this law should be applied, this law should not be applied. Like, it is the courts who has to decide. But in international relations, international law, if a dispute arises between two states, or if a dispute arises between one state and another thing, so they can say, like, for this thing, this law may be applied, right, to the arbitral tribunal, and that arbitral tribunal will look into it and they will say yes, it will be applied, it will not be applied, like that. Okay, so here in this case, in the case of international law, the people who are disputing, they themselves agree to a common set of laws that will be applied to resolve that case. Okay, so there are customary international law, there are, let's say, some other international law that is in place. So parties generally say that this law will be applied, which is more codified, where, let's say, there is a possibility of arriving at a resolution. Because in international law, for every other thing, there is different treaty, different set, different norms, and whenever there is laws are not there, so they will look into the customary practices. Okay, customary practices, they say, like, this practice has been followed, so using that practice, you should give a decision on this, like that. Okay, so that's the thing. So that's how the issues are resolved in international law. Okay. So like it's a part of international trade and business law basically. So many people study this as a subject. Okay, like that. So this is another topic. It says push for more women, this time in the police. Okay. So in this article, the author has referred to the women's reservation, let's say like, bill that has been introduced in the parliament. Today it was in news that the women's reservation bill, okay, so this is the topic number 2 that we are reading. Okay, name of the topic is push for more women, this time in the police. Push for more women, this time in the police. Now let us understand about this topic, because it is important to develop our understanding on different areas. So what is the context? Recently the Parliament of India, I mean like Parliament has introduced women's reservation bill. Okay, women's reservation bill, which is known as Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. Okay, Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. So this was 128th constitutional amendment, okay, constitutional amendment bill that has been introduced. It has been passed, Lok Sabha has passed it, okay. Rajya Sabha has also passed it. And today it was in news that the president, okay, president has given her assent. Okay, president has given her assent. Means this bill has become an act now. Okay, this bill has become an act, and this is known as 106th Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, although this bill was there, so many bills have been introduced, but most of the bill did not pass. So chronologically, it has become 106th Constitutional Amendment Act. So under this act, what happens? The women's will get reservation. Women's will get reservation. Where they are going to get reservation? They are going to get reservation in allocation of seats in the Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. Okay, and they are going to get a reservation of 33%. Okay, 33% reservation. However, for this, although it has been passed, this bill has been passed, but like it is not going to give it effect immediately, in the sense like women are not going to get the reservation immediately. Why? Because of two reasons. One of the reason is that like the census is pending. Number one, census exercise is pending. So that census exercise was about to happen in 2021, but it got postponed. It got postponed because of what? COVID-19. Then second thing is, once census is done, people will get to know like what is the population in India, what is the population in each state, and among these states they will get to know like what is the population of SC and ST communities, and especially among them they'll get to know how many women are there. So through census exercise we are going to get the data related to census. After then they have to conduct delimitation exercise. Okay, delimitation exercise. So what is delimitation exercise? Delimitation means drawing the boundaries of the constituencies for the Lok Sabha and state legislative assembly elections. So they need to do this one also. After they do delimitation exercise, only after then they are going to implement this particular thing. So in this article the author has referred to that, like many people are saying that it may be applicable from 2029, but however if it is postponed, if this census is postponed, so next census is going to happen in 2031, and then this thing may become instrumental in 2034. So the thing is, it's going to take a long time for women to actually see this thing let's say functional. Presently, if I talk about number of women in the Lok Sabha, so there are 14.9% of women are there in the Lok Sabha. 14.9% are women in the Lok Sabha. That's the thing. So giving this example, the author has also talked about what the author talked. Author has talked about that we need reservation for women. Okay, we need reservation for women in police also. Okay, reservation for women in police service. However, they say that police is a state subject. Okay, it is a, this particular subject is there in the state list. Since it is there in the state list, so what will happen that each state, right, each state has to do reform in itself. Some of the states have implemented reforms. They have started, let's say, appointing women also. So there are substantial number of women in different states who are, let's say, manning this particular thing, police service. So they are in the police. However, they do not have a coherent system across the states. Okay, some states have adopted it, some states have not adopted. The author has also talked about why do we need women in the police. So they say, like, in looking into the crime rates, women are also doing crime. A lot of women are also doing crime. So for doing investigation related to women related matters, for arresting women and all, there should be women police officers who should do it. Okay, so that's why the author says that we need more women. And related to this, the author has made many suggestions also. Okay, the author has talked about that, like, police reforms, like, the 7th schedule of the Constitution of India, the implementation of police reform remains primarily a concern of the state. Okay, so Ministry of Home Affairs has talked about various data. Okay, so the National Crime Records Bureau also talks about that 10% of the total crime defined under Indian Penal Code was committed against women, and about 5.3% of the total arrested persons in 2021 were women. Means out of total crimes that happened, 10% of the crimes are committed against women, and in 5.34%, it is the women who are involved in the criminal activities. So that's why we need women also in the police forces. And like how the women can come, if we give reservation to the women. In that case, even if women score less marks in the examination, if let's say there is a woman who is scoring little less mark, there are men who are scoring more marks. So because they have reservation, they will be pulled up, okay, into the appointment ladder. So appointment ladder means, like, even if they score less, so they will be appointed. That's the thing. They have a different criteria for women and different criteria for men. Yeah, it is the case. And because let's say, like, there are 100 vacancies. Okay, let's say there are 100 vacancies. Okay, 100 vacancies are there, and they have said that out of 100, 20 vacancies are for women. Okay, 20 vacancies are for women. So the thing is, like, they will try to fill these 20 posts through women itself, even if women are scoring much less than men. If man is scoring more, so, like, they will set a different criteria, parameter for selection of women in that case. So that is, I mean, like, reservation of women. Okay, and so this is the case, this is the case that has been happening. So having understood this, it says states in India need to act as data show that the available women force is insufficient even in dealing with the cases of the law and all related to women. Okay, so this is the thing. So with this, we have another topic. We will quickly go through this topic. It says troubled waters. So it is related to South China Sea dispute. Okay, South China Sea dispute. It says China and Philippines should desist from raising the risk in South China Sea. So recently what has happened, China has created some kind of barrier around a shoal which is known as Scarborough Shoal. So, and recently the Philippines Coast Guard, they have cut that particular barrier. Okay, so after then tension has sparked between China and Philippines. So in this article they have said that, like, they have referred to this particular incidents, and they have said that they should not stir up the problem. Okay, so they should try to resolve the issue amicably, because this South China Sea is one of the busiest roads, routes in the world related to trade, right? So all the trade that happens in goods, trades that are of international nature, I mean like the trades that are done, okay, international export import trades are done. So they happen through sea routes, and South China Sea is one of the most busiest routes. So that's why South China Sea needs to be peaceful, okay. So many countries across the world, they focus on peaceful resolution of disputes, so that like the cargo vessels are not stopped, right? If tension is sparks up, so they are going to deploy their forces, and then it's going to affect the way how traffic moves in the I mean like sea routes. So they say that the United States of America, India, and many other countries, they are supporting a rule-based international order in the South China Sea region. So this is what is mentioned in this article basically, okay. They have explained this particular rope cutting related thing. So China has created a 9-dash line in the South China Sea, and China says that these line all the region that are inside this line, it belongs to China. They say that this Pratt's Island, then this Macclesfield Bank, Scarborough Reef or Shoal, Spratly Islands, Paracel Islands, so they all belong to China. This is what China says. And the thing is, Philippines says like this Scarborough Reef or island, it belongs to Philippines, okay. So this has been the dispute between them, and the area is Scarborough Shoal, okay, which is in news. So we need to understand how these islands are located. So north to south arrangement we will do. One of the island is, let's say, Paracels Island. So it is on the top of Scarborough. Then we have Scarborough Shoal. Then we have this Spratlys, okay. And so these are the things, okay. Then Pratas is much above, okay, like that. So that way you make a simple map for yourself and note down number wise, number 1, number 2, number 3, okay. Write down their names and later on remember them, okay, in your free time. So because there is a possibility of a question in the prelims exam, they may ask these locations, okay, islands. So we are going to solve a question related to this. Yes, I can go back. Right. Practically it belongs to Philippines if we follow this United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, okay. So it should belong to, I mean like it should belong to Philippines, because like the division should happen in this manner, okay. Division should happen in the midway. It should belong to it. But China says we have historical rights over these places. This used to belong to us from time immemorial. And recently there was a judgment by the Permanent Court of Arbitration in 2016. In that judgment also, Permanent Court of Arbitration has given its judgment in favor of Philippines, right, not in favor of China. Still China did not agree to the, I mean like decision of the Permanent Court of Arbitration. That decision is binding, however they do not have any mechanism to enforce that. So that's the thing. So let us quickly understand how many countries surround South China Sea, okay. So there are basically 8 countries, right. If we take into account the this Singapore also, if we do not include Singapore, then there will be 7 countries. So let us see which are those countries. One of the countries China, South China Sea, one of the countries China. Second country is Vietnam. Third country is Malaysia. Malaysia has 2 portions. Earlier we have seen in the map of what ASEAN, right? We have seen Malaysia like that, okay. Fourth country is Brunei. Brunei, very small territory over here. This is Brunei. Then we have 5th country Indonesia, because Indonesia extends till here like that. Then we have 6th country Philippines, 7th country Taiwan, and over here there will be what? A small country, not Thailand. So this Singapore, okay, that will be 8th country. So these are the countries that surround South China Sea. Now we will quickly see. Consider the following countries, okay. They have given names of countries. How many of the above countries border the South China Sea, okay. In this question they have not included this country also. What? Singapore. Okay, we have seen Brunei is there, Indonesia is there, India is not there, Malaysia is there, Philippines is there, Taiwan is there, Vietnam is there. Okay, any doubt in these countries? In that case, we can see again. Any doubt? Vietnam you want to see? Okay, so this is Vietnam. Then if you want to see Malaysia, this is Malaysia, right? If you want to see Indonesia, this is Indonesia, right? Want to see Philippines, so this is Philippines, Taiwan is there. Okay, so these are the countries that have borders. So how many of them? 6. Correct answer would be option C, only 3. Okay, so this is the correct answer. So you can go through the explanation related to it, right? I have included, let's say, like explanation also related to South China Sea. So South China Sea is a region, right, which is over here like that. This is the region. Okay, this is South China Sea. Okay, so these are the countries. So Singapore is a small country over here, so that's why we have included that thing also. So having understood this, let us now quickly move to another topic. This topic says remembering MS Swaminathan's legacy of ecological conservation. So MS Swaminathan, he has worked well for agricultural revolution, which is known as Green Revolution. Okay, Green Revolution. However, he is also associated with environment and ecology. How? This person has also headed IUCN. He has headed as the director or the president of International Union for Conservation of Nature. Okay, so he was elected president of the International Union for Conservation of Nature, and during his presidency he has talked about that, like, you know, the IUCN should not be a West centered body, Eurocentric body. It should not become a Eurocentric body. This IUCN needs to be a Earth-centric body. It should look into the issues that the Earth is facing. Okay, so during his time, he has worked on 4 different things associated with environment and ecology. These are, he has worked on conservation measures. So these are, he has talked about mangrove ecosystem. He has talked about biodiversity conservation, like genetic conservation and keystone dialogues. Okay, so these are the areas where he has worked during his lifetime. Okay, so that's why like, you know, scientists are remembering him as an ecological conservationist. Okay, ecological conservationist, and he has talked about many things. He has, let's say, like, you know, written papers also. His papers were let's say, like, you know, published in Nature. Like, it is one of the most renowned scientific journal. Okay, it's one of the most renowned and famous scientific journal. That's the thing. Then we have another topic. This topic, although we have already explained, this is President grants assent to Women's Reservation Bill. Okay, we have discussed about it. Women's Reservation Bill seeks to give 33% reservation to women in the Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. Okay, for this, earlier the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha has passed it. Now the President of India has given assent. It was known as 128th Amendment Bill, but now it will be known as Constitution 106th Amendment Act. Okay, so this is the thing. So it will be applicable after the census and delimitation exercises are conducted. Now we have another topic. After election. Yeah, so that, like, you know, I have discussed in the newspaper article also. He made that comment that after general election we will conduct. But maybe, I mean, like, you know, when they are going to conduct. So after then, see, general election is happening in 2024. After 5 years, in 2029, there will be another general election. Okay, so that's the thing. So now let us understand this. So in 2024, women are not going to get reservation. Yeah, but in 2029, if before that they conduct the census, then there is a possibility that they are going to get it. Okay, so this is the thing. So it says government hikes windfall tax on crude petroleum. It's a short topic, this topic is related to economy, okay? It's a part of economy. So we need to understand what do we mean by windfall tax, okay? For PT, okay? Windfall tax. So basically there are businesses, okay? There are businesses who make profit, okay? Who make profit which is disproportional to their normal thing, okay? Disproportional to their normal routine. So for example, these companies, oil and natural gas companies, okay? Oil and natural gas companies, what happens if something happens in international order? For example, recently many countries stopped importing oil from Russia. So in that case, government of India has agreed to cooperate with Russia and import oil from Russia. And Russia has given those oils at a very less price as compared to the normal price of the oils. So those companies that are involved in importing those oil, so they will be selling the oil at the normal market price, because they know that this situation is let's say an extraordinary situation for Russia, that they are selling at a lower price. But these companies, after importing the oil, they are going to sell in the market in the normal price that they were selling earlier. If they reduce it now, so later on people will have a habit that of asking the oil at a lesser price. But in future, the price of oil will normalize in the international market. So they do not reduce the price in the Indian economy. So during this time, these companies who are importing oil from Russia, they are going to make enormous profit, okay? They are going to make huge amount of profit. And so there, let's say the government of India may take a decision to apply windfall tax, tax on the profits that these companies are generating disproportionately, okay? So government wants to reap the benefits from these companies also. These companies are making huge profit, okay? So government wants to have a share on the profit, because government has a role in this, right? So that's the thing. So this is one of the way that we can understand what do we mean by windfall tax, okay? So this is the thing. So government on Friday hiked a special additional excise duty, it is known as SAID, on crude petroleum to 12,000 per ton with effect from September 30 in the last fortnightly review, okay? So this is the thing. Government applies these on some of the companies, some of the sectors. These are known as windfall tax. It is applied on windfall profit that these companies are making, okay? So these profits are not normal regular profit that they are making. Then we have another topic. It says Ruixiang Zhang to receive Sastra Ramanujan Prize. So Ruixiang Zhang is this person. So this person has done some kind of studies. He has contributed to the field of mathematics, okay? He has contributed to the field of mathematics, and that's why he will be awarded a prize which is in the name of Ramanujan, okay? So Ramanujan was one of the greatest mathematicians from India. He has received international fame, right, during his lifetime. However, he passed very early, at the age of 34, I think. 38, 34, okay? So he passed at a very early age, but the thing is, he has made huge contribution. And this person, he has also made good contribution in the number theory, okay? He has made good contribution in number theory. So that's why he will be recognized with this prize. And as part of this prize, he is going to receive $10,000, okay? And for his outstanding contributions in the area of mathematics, okay? So it is being given in the let's say honor of Ramanujan, okay? So this is the thing. So in this article, they have talked about this. They have talked about a kind of algorithm also. For example, they have talked about power algorithm. For example, we have 7 raised to power 20, then plus let's say 5 raised to power 10. We can have 3 raised to power 21. So these are very complex mathematical problems. So to solve these kind of complex mathematical problems, we have few types of what we say, we have kind of thesis, okay? So one of the thesis is known as Xiaoming Guo, okay? So he has given a generalized thesis. So he had talked about that these formula can be applied to solve these kind of problems, okay? So that's the thing. So in this article, they have mentioned some of these things. However, they are not as important. Okay, for mathematicians, for people who are doing research in mathematics, for them it may be important. So that's the thing. So name of the prize is important, Sastra Ramanujan Prize. Okay, so this is the thing. Now we have another topic. It says age of consent under POCSO must remain. Okay, so we have discussed about POCSO related articles earlier also. POCSO means Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. Okay, so this is a kind of act which is in place. This act protects the children from sexual offences, right, against them. So under this particular act, they have mentioned that any adult who is above the age of 18 years can normally enter into sexual relationship through consent. But people below the age of 18 years, right, if they involve in any kind of sexual activity, in that case, the person who is involved with that child who is below the age of 18 years, he may be tried under Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. But under that also, I mean, like, you know, there are, let's say, consent of the children. So in that case, the courts look into this matter whether there is consent of the children or not. If, let's say, the consent has been received forcefully, in that case, the accused may be charged with rape offences. Otherwise, let's say, like, you know, they reduce the amount of punishment for the person. So recently, many courts are there in India. Those courts have been facing dilemma. I mean, like, you know, whether we should treat this according to the law that is there, or like we should take it on compassionate ground. So there have been many courts, like, you know, Court of Kerala and Court of Andhra Pradesh, Madras High Court. So many courts have, you know, High Court of Delhi, even the Supreme Court of India. So they have been, let's say, like, you know, applying different kind of methods in different cases. So these courts have asked the government of India to relook into the, you know, age of consent related thing. Like, you know, what should be the age of consent? So recently a review was done by the Law Commission of India. And that review was done by Justice Rituraj Avasthi. Okay, so she is a retired justice, and she has notified after doing review that, like, you know, this age of consent must remain as it is. And she has also talked about one new thing, that the thing is, like, you know, the courts can go for guided judicial discretion. I mean, like, judicial discretion should be there, will be there, but it should be guided. I mean, like, you know, so precedence has to be set by the high courts or Supreme Court in these cases. Okay, so guided judicial discretion. Okay, so this is the thing. So they have mentioned about adolescent love also, where criminal intention may be missing. So they talk about the intentions as well in these cases. Okay, so in this article they have mentioned about what? The POCSO Act. Okay, so this is the thing. So now we
how can we criminalize the other person other than the government? He has done something wrong.
No, this POCSO Act is gender neutral.
Sir, but in this article, sir, they have specifically mentioned about the girl only.
They have mentioned about girls, but like this act in itself is gender neutral. I mean, like, you know, anyone, let's say there can be a boy who is, let's say, like, you know, forced to do sexual acts. If he is below 18 years of age, in that case, the other person who is, let's say, like forcing that boy, so in that case, he or she may be tried under the court of law. So that's the thing. So the thing is, like, you know, it depends, it varies from case to case. There can be the thing that two adolescents are involved into this. So the thing is, none of them are going to report in the courts of law. So courts of law will not be able to prevent. Okay. So basically, courts of law look into the matter whenever an adult is involved with an adolescent. In that case, they see whether the adult had like, you know, had malicious intent, okay, or not. If he or she has malicious intent, in that case they will try, they will apply those cases, and generally these cases are registered by the parents of the children. It's a case of ethical dilemma. It's a case of ethical dilemma, and that's why clear law is needed. courts are having ethical dilemma in this case. Okay, so many courts have looked into different areas and they have given judgment. Okay, each case is very unique to one another. Okay, so case to case they take decision. We have another topic. It says, with reference to the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. So it's a question. Consider the following statement. It says the age of consent of a person under POCSO Act is 16 years. You need to look into this. It is either 16 or 18 as per the Act. Okay. Then second, the Act provides for special courts which conduct trial in camera without revealing the identity of the child. The Act mandates the investigation to be completed in 2 months from the date of registration of FIR. So how many of the above statements are correct? Statement 2 is incorrect. A trial in camera is not needed. This is 100% correct. Okay, so we are remaining with only 2. A or B would be the right answer, I think. Let's see. B. Okay. B means only 2. Okay. 1 and 3. First is incorrect. Second and third are correct. Okay. Second and third are correct. First is incorrect. Okay. So it says this is incorrect. Second and third are correct. Means वो ट्रायल कैमरा में होता है. ठीक है. हाँ मतलब ये चिल्ड्रन से मतलब दे आर डीलिंग विद दिस थिंग ना. So that's why मतलब many a times what happens, these adolescents, these children do not want to face the judiciary. They do not want to face, let's say, like the judges. तो इसीलिए जो है ना मतलब लाइक सेपरेट अलग से लेके ठीक है आप कैमरा के सामने बोल दो. इट्स लाइक दैट. हाँ ठीक है. सो इन दी रिपोर्ट इन्होंने बताया the age of consent of a person under POCSO is 18 years. The Act provides for a special courts which conduct the trial in camera without revealing the identity of the child. Trial camera में होता है. ठीक है. Then the Act mandates investigation to be completed in 2 months from the date of registration of FIR. ठीक है. मतलब it is good. The Act is made in good sense, I would say. लेकिन क्या है सोसाइटी में इतना वेरिएशन है, lot of variation. Now we have another thing. It says electoral bonds to go on sale from October 4. Okay, electoral bonds has been in news. Okay, what are electoral bonds? Electoral bonds. Okay, we need to understand about electoral bonds. So electoral bonds are instruments, right, through which people can donate to let's say like these parties, right? So they can donate to political parties. So these bonds are papers, let's say. So these can be purchased by investors, by those people who want to donate, right? So they can purchase it from designated branches of State Bank of India. So presently only the State Bank of India has been allowed, right? Only few branches of State Bank of India has been allowed to sell these electoral bonds. So those people who are purchasing these electoral bonds, like who are let's say donating to the political parties, their identities are not revealed. Okay, their identities are not revealed to the political parties, and it is not revealed to the public at large, so that those people who are willing to donate to a party, they should not face any kind of, let's say, like opposition from other parties or from other spheres of life. So this is to protect the people who are donating. However, the amount that is donated through electoral bonds, so these details are sent to the Election Commission of India, and the Election Commission of India keeps a record of how much contribution has been made to which political party, right? So that they can keep a check on the fair practice in let's say electoral activities related to political parties. Okay, so this is the nature of electoral bonds. However, people have been saying that electoral bonds are an instrument of, let's say, like imposing, like using black money into the political system, because a person who is donating to the political party, nobody will be knowing his identity, so he can give any amount of money to the political party. So these bonds are in the denomination of 1000 rupees to 1 crore rupees. Okay, so one bond can be of 1000, it can be of 10,000, it can be of 1 lakh, it can be of let's say 10 lakh or 1 crore. So it ranges from 1 lakh 1000 to 1 crore rupees if you want to make a donation to political parties. So they have said that Government of India had initiated or launched the electoral bond in 2018. Okay, it has been launched in 2018, and the thing is, it is generally sold by the banks. It is generally, let's say, released by the banks during few months, in the month of April, July and October. Okay, so in April, July and October of every year, right? And so yeah, January also, January, April, July, October. So this is the thing for 10 days period. Okay, for 10 days period. And during the time of general election, so Government of India has taken an additional 30-day period in the year of Lok Sabha election. Okay, that during these time, people, and these electoral bonds must be, let's say, encashed by the political parties within a short period of time. I think they have mentioned 15 days. Okay, they should encash it within 15 days, after which it is not going to be cannot be encashed like that. So it is also mentioned in this article. Then we have another topic, hot dry August lifts core sector growth to 14 months high. Okay, so August, the month of August, was one of the hottest month. It has broken the record of 100 years. So it is one of the hottest August month. We have seen lesser, what we say, lesser kind of rainfall. It says that production at the 8 infrastructure sector climbed 12.1%, with 5 of them reporting double-digit expansion. ICI posts 2.5% sequential growth. So the thing is, growth has increased during the month of August, and that data has been released now. So index of 8 core industries has seen a growth of, let's say, 2.5%. And overall, I mean, in the month of August itself, so the thing is, the 8 core infrastructure sectors rose by 12.1%. So they talk about how much percent rose, which sector rose. So it's let's say, we will not go into much detail about it. However, you need to learn about names of 8 core industries. Okay, means which are the 8 core industries as part of index of industrial production. Then we have another topic. It is NABARD announces listing social bonds on BSE. Okay, BSE means Bombay Stock Exchange. NABARD means National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Okay, so it's a bank which is a refinancing bank, and this bank has recently raised 1040 crore. Okay, 1040 crore using social bonds. Okay, using social bonds. So what are social bonds? Social bonds are debt instruments. Okay, they are debt instruments. Debt instruments means using these bonds, the NABARD has borrowed money. Okay, NABARD has borrowed money from investors. So debt instruments means those people who purchase these social bonds. So they are giving their money to NABARD. However, NABARD will pay a kind of coupon rate. Okay, it's going to pay coupon rate. Coupon rate is interest rate. Okay, coupon rate, or it is known as interest rate. Okay, so people are going to receive interest on the amount that they have invested. So this was about 7.49% interest. Okay, annually. So that's the thing. So these social bonds are little different from other kind of bonds, because through social bonds, what happened, that they are going to invest money in certain social sectors for improving certain social cause. Okay, so this is the thing. And as per NABARD, so they are going to use it in the Jal Jeevan mission. Okay, so it is a drinking water project of the Government of India. For this thing, the NABARD has raised money. Okay, so this is the thing, Jal Jeevan mission. So social bonds are a specific kind of bond that are used for social or environmental purposes. So the thing is, they are also called as, sometimes it is also called as sustainability bonds or green bonds. Okay, so they are little different from them. However, social bonds have a good cause. So that's all for the day from my side. Thank you so much everyone for participating online. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you. So you were reading something?